It's Transformers 96 here, it's another for your review. This time of Transformers Generations Fall of Cybertron Starscream. So here you go. So before we go into the video, let's just go over the package. As you can see, you got a nice picture of the jet there. You get a really cool picture of Starscream on the top. Looks pretty nice. And then on the back, you get his stats, all fairly high except for Courage, which is a 3. And then the robot mode and everything. So yeah. So of course he comes, his alt mode is the Cybertronian jet, which is pretty neat. I do not play the game, nor have I really seen anything about the game pretty much, so all that I know is just from the toys, so it's hard for me to judge how accurate these things are to the game. So yeah, as far as the jet, overall it looks pretty cool. I actually do really like it. As far as the colors, they're they're pretty G1-ish for Starscream. They're pretty much gray, red, and blue, kind of almost red, white, and blue. So that's pretty interesting. Looks pretty nice. From the picture over here, you can kind of see what the Cybertronian mode should look like. It looks like these little square things are a little bit bigger and more like turbines or possibly missile launchers in the actual game, as well as he is supposed to have a Decepticon symbol up there, according to that picture, which he doesn't have. But he does have the Decepticon symbols on the wings, which is accurate according to that. So yeah, so overall that looks pretty cool. And overall the actual plane looks very nice. It's kind of small. Looking at like this, it's pretty small. It feels like a very large Scout, not quite a deluxe. But from the side, it is quite bulky, bulkier than a usual deluxe figure. He does have these giant cannons. These are kind of his little weapons that come with him. I'll go in a little bit more detail with them once I transform him. But as far as here are the weapons, they look really cool, really do love them. They're red with some very bright silver chromish highlights, which just look awesome. I really do love the way that they look. And when you spin them, you can see the turbine moves in there, which is pretty neat. I do like how that happens, so that's cool. And same thing with the other one, of course. They're very cool. They have multiple points where you can attach them. You can hook it up from here. This side is hollow because of what it does, which I'll show you when we get in robot mode. And there's multiple points that you can put them on. You can put them on the wings like I had it. You can put them on the sides of, this is actually the leg if you wanted to, as well as there are these two ports. I don't think that it'll be able to fit both of them in at the same time, but you can you know, pick which one you want. You can put one in there. So yeah, so overall that's pretty cool. And just overall a really pretty nice mode. I mean, you can kind of see through it, so you can see my hand through there a little bit. It's nothing really too bad though. Very subtle angles where you can see it through it. At the bottom you can kind of see his head in there with the light piping, and it's a little hollow, but overall it's pretty cool. I think it looks pretty nice. From the side, I think it looks really awesome. The side is probably the best view of it. Up top, you know, this isn't great, and at the bottom it's a little hollow. But overall, I wish that there was like some kind of panel that slid out right here just to cover it up a little bit. But other than that, it is a very solid representation of the jet from what I can tell. Just to compare him, here he is with these Dark of the Moon Deluxe Starscream. Overall, of course, they are two different versions of the same character. And yeah, overall, as far as size, the Dark of the Moon one is much bigger, but it is a little bit skinnier, while the Fall of Cybertron one is smaller, but he does have a little bit more bulk in his legs and stuff. And yeah, but overall, they look pretty cool. I do like the two different versions together. So yeah. So let's pause it really quick so that we can get to transformation. Alright, to transform, what you want to do is start out with the legs. They're pegged in up there, if you can see that, and then they just pop out there. There's the peg that it was in. They just come down, and then you want to just fold it out. And when you fold it out, make sure that this piece folds out, and you're not just moving the legs right there. So yeah. So that folds out, and then his arms, they also fold out just like this. And what you're gonna want to do is take one of them, and they just kind of swing out just like this. Oops, a little stuck. There you go. They just swing out like that. So, yeah. And then up on the top here, this will also rotate down. You want to flip up the cone there just at the beginning there, and it's just like this. It doesn't really like plug in. I mean, there's a very tiny little spot where it's supposed to go in, and it does kind of go in, and it stays fine, but it's not perfect. Flip out the little toe right there. And those are his legs and pretty much most of his body, so pretty simple transformation like that. And then what you're going to want to do up here is flip up this head and then rotate it. And then from there you want to flip this down. Move these, just move these up a little bit. So then this flips down. Actually, sorry, you want to, this is a double hinge here, and it's really hard to do, but you want to move, there you go. You want to have it so, oops, I hope that you saw it, but this whole thing was straightened out. You want just the panel to kind of go up a little bit, and then have it flip down just like that. Gives them a little bit more bulkiness, which is nice, and kind of brings up the arms. And then here's the arms. The arms, just want to rotate them to the side. Here's the arms, rotate them to the side, and there you go. And then these panels just flip back, and that's transformation. Pretty simple, which is pretty nice. So yeah, so let's go over his robot mode. Alright, so with robot mode overall, this is where I think that the figure is this better. I do like the jet mode, like I said, but this robot mode is really awesome. First of all, before we go into his actual, well, let's go into his looks. As far as the face sculpt, looks really awesome. It's pretty G1 looking, but it's a modern G1. I think that that's one thing that this Fall of Cybertron toy line has done, and it's done extremely well, is that they do these G1 kind of looks, but in a modern taste. I don't know how to really explain it other than that, but overall it just looks so cool the way that they design these characters. I'm a big fan, but the face sculpt's very nice. It's got tremendous light piping. I mean, it's just great. I don't know why it's so good, but it really is. And overall, I do like the way that the shoulder pads are, of course, the kind of wings in the back there. The wings are something that's pretty big for this Fall of Cybertron that I've seen so far, especially with like Shockwave. The wings are on the shoulders just like that. I like his bulk. It gives him a pretty big bulkiness, which is nice, and it kind of has that triangle-ish look like the movie. So it's a really nice combination of a bunch of different Starscreams. As far as these arms and everything, they're really cool. I do really like the way that they're sculpted. He's got some big forearms and stuff, which look nice, and then he's got these really big legs, which I think looks cool, and the neat feet. And the colors, like I said, gray, red, and blue, same colors in robot mode as in alt mode, and I think that that works really well. As far as articulation, typically I don't really talk much about articulation on these guys, because typically they all have really good articulation, and it's hard to talk about them because they have transforming parts. But the articulation on him is especially good. I'm really a big fan of it. He's got multiple points. He's got like a little hinge, just a little bit on the shoulder there for transformation. He's got a ball joint on the shoulder, a bicep swivel, double hinge elbows, which really helps for articulation, and swivel wrist. Overall, some really great points of articulation on the arm, and the articulation is pretty stiff, which is nice. There aren't any loose pieces. Like these biceps, they're very hard, and they will definitely stay where you put them forever, which is really great. No waist. That's the only thing that's because of the obvious look of the figure. He does have a ball jointed head, but it's mostly just a swivel. And then he has a ball hinge thighs with a thigh swivel, hinge knees, and no ankle, of course, because of the strange look, and he does have a hinge toe. But overall, articulation is really nice. You can put him in some cool poses. I'll try to put him in a pose at the end of this video, but overall, he looks cool. The only thing that I can say is he is hollow. If you look directly at the side of him, you will see that it is see-through, but this is really the only angle is from the side. From the front and all angles of the front, you can't tell. It's only when you flip it to the side. And with the back, other than these little holes, it is pretty solid too. You can't really tell. So it is really just the direct side. Unless you have him put like this on your shelf or something, it won't be a problem. It's just But it's okay. I'd rather they do that than fill it up and make him skinnier, because I think that this bulky look looks really neat, and I do like it a lot. So, you know, give or take, I think that it works. I do like it. I do like the clear yellow piece in the cone there, which looks nice. As far as his guns, now to go into a little bit more detail with these, what you can do is you can attach them, and it attaches them with this little clip right here. It goes in this little slot, and it just attaches like this. And then when you attach it, it also opens up another port, so you can put another gun on top of this, as well as you get 2 handles over here, and then 2 small handles down here. And when you move the gimmick just on one side, it works all the gears. So just by turning one side, it works the whole thing, which is pretty cool. There's multiple ways you can get him to hold this. He can hold it just from the side, just like this. You can plug it in. He actually can hold it with both hands. Let me show you that really quick. So yeah, so you can have them together and have them hold it like this, which is actually pretty neat. Just you know, looking at it like this is cool, but looking at it like this, his arms are completely bent in. But just from the side there, you can't like even tell, so that's pretty nice. And from the bottom, you can tell. But just from like an angle like this, it actually looks really cool. But you know, not great. But I'm really surprised that he can hold it like that. Let me just show you some other ways that you can have him hold the guns. He can also just hold it physically in his hand. There are 2 different ways you can do this. You can do it like this, which is so that the gears and stuff are on the bottom, unfortunately, and the hollow part is on the top. But it does allow him to have a bigger grip on it, so that it kind of looks, it goes out a little further. And then on this side, you can do it by the side peg here, so that the inner part is in the middle here, and this is the peg. This is the peg that the other side is holding. So there are 2 different ways that you can hold it in his hands. There's also 2 more ways that he can hold the you can also put it on his arm, which is pretty nice, and you can also connect it. You can connect it in any one of these positions, but you can do this as well. It looks pretty cool. And then if you're feeling real crazy, you can go for the leg cannons, my personal favorite. No, but it's actually pretty cool. Then there is a peg there. There are also pegs on the wings, but it is incredibly hard to get the guns to actually store on his wings, and they'd be storing at the front. No pegs on the back and no other pegs, but he does have a multitude of different ways to hold and display his weapon. For size comparison, here he is with the Darker Than Moon Starscream and the Fall of Cybertron Shockwave. Overall, he's pretty cool. He's bigger than Shockwave. I'm not sure how that works in the game, what the ratio is between them, but he is a pretty standard deluxe size figure. When he's transformed, he's really nice. He does have a hollow stomach, but, you know, overall, he does transform into a full deluxe figure, and just really equals the rest of them. He looks very nice, especially with the Fall of Cybertron Shockwave. So overall, the Starscream from Fall of Cybertron Deluxe series is really cool. I'm a big fan of it. I like the sculpt, although it does have some hollow pieces, and it's on the line of a small deluxe. It's not quite a small deluxe, but it can be construed as a small deluxe in sometimes. But overall, he is really cool. I love the paint scheme. I love the design of the figure, and I'm really loving the design of the Decepticons for this Fall of Cybertron toy line, and we'll definitely keep picking up the main Decepticons, because this is really cool and it looks great with Shockwave. So overall, so there you go. That's my review of Transformers Generations Fall of Cybertron Starscream. Thanks for watching.